When you scroll through the news, it can feel quite overwhelming. Fires, floods, melting glaciers. Our planet keeps breaking records, and yet sustainability doesn't seem to be important anymore. Who of you in this room has felt climate anxiety? I, for my part, have felt it most of my teenage years and also young adult years. And the question that always haunted me was, what can I, as one individual, really do? And what helped me move from paralysis to action was one simple realization. 3 times a day, we make a choice. And that choice is more powerful than we think. Breakfast, lunch, and dinner. So I want to give you the message today. When the world feels out of control, start with your plate. Because with every meal we eat, we make a choice of which future we want to grow and feed. So my question is, which future do we choose to feed? My name is Nicola Baumschlager, and I've spent the last years exploring how our food could become one of our greatest tools for change. And I will share with you the way from paralysis to action. Everything, for me, started in 2019. I was in my early 20s, doing an internship in San Francisco, the innovation hotspot, the Silicon Valley. 2019 was also the year when Beyond Meat went public. Beyond Meat, for those of you who don't know it, is one of the pioneering meat alternatives. It was the first time, also in 2019, when meat alternatives made global headlines, also here in Europe. And I was lucky to be in the middle of it all. And I went out to San Francisco downtown, went to a burger restaurant, and tried one of these Beyond Burgers. And when I got it, I actually thought that they took a wrong order. It tasted like meat, and it even was raw medium. So I called the waitress and thought they should take it back because this is the wrong order. But she assured to me that this burger was 100% plant-based. So I started to investigate on the topic of meat alternatives. And what I learned is that this is not just about a burger. This is about the system behind every meal we eat. So the more I found out about the food system, the more I realized this is huge. 30% of our global greenhouse gas emissions comes from our food system. It uses up to 70% of our fresh water, and it's responsible for 90% of global deforestation. And it's also the leading cause for biodiversity loss. The biggest part of it comes from animal farming. Land use and land use changes, such as deforestation, manure management, and yes, also the methane of cows. In fact, if we add up all the emissions of every plane, every truck, every boat, and every car, livestock still emits more. And all of that made me realize one essential thing. When our food system is one of the primary drivers of climate change, especially the livestock sector, why is hardly anyone talking about it? And this has shaped everything I did from that point onwards, in my studies, in my professional life, and also in my private life. I actually really changed my food behavior, and also I did not get tired of having endless discussions about the topic. And believe me, this was not always fun. It has put me into action, and we all know that action is the best cure against anxiety. The good news is that food system that drives climate change can also be one of our greatest ally in solving it. Our food is power. Power to shape landscapes, power to restore ecosystems, and power to store CO2 in our soil. Through what we choose to eat, we decide and we can shift demand from the bottom up. It's one of our best democratic protests we have. Through what we choose to eat, we decide what kind of agriculture we fund, what kind of labor we reward, and what kind of future we grow. With my eye-opening experience 6 years ago, I thought that meat alternatives were the solution. Having the meat taste without the environmental consequences. It sounds like a dream, right? No harm, no sacrifice, no environmental consequences, and no behavioral change needed. 6 years later, now, I understood that meat alternatives are a great start. They have also forced the system to reflect. Where do we grow the peas and the GMO-free soy for the plant-based nuggets? What about the subsidies? Will they get the same subsidies? And what about the taxes? And very recently, is a plant-based schnitzel also allowed to be called a schnitzel? But meat alternatives are a great start, but they're not the end. The real challenge behind is also the opportunity, the biggest opportunity. We need to change the whole food system. And this shift isn't only about emissions. It's about fairness, it's about our mental and physical well-being, it's about independence and also food security. Right now, we stand at crossroads. On the one side, we have the industrial system. It's efficient, global, standardized. It has given us cheap food and full supermarket shelves. It is built on synthetic fertilizers and chemical inputs. Monoculture replaces diversity. Yes, the industrialization of agriculture has helped us to feed billions and also to fight hunger. But it has also pushed our ecosystems to its limits. We are now witnessing the cost of this system. Degraded land, declining yields, water scarcity, and also farmer exhaustion. This system is at its limit. On the other side, we have a new path, a regenerative path. It's a system that doesn't fight nature, but collaborates with it. It's built, or the center of everything, is soil health. Soil, that thin, fragile layer, the living skin on the planet, gives us 95% of everything we eat. 95%. And yet, 60% of Europe's soils are degraded. To heal them, farmers need to rotate crops, plant cover crops, and also protect these living organisms and the microbes in the soil. The benefit of a healthier soil is that they store more carbon, hold more water to prevent floods, and also to prevent fires, and boost biodiversity. And this is not fantasy. This is already happening. Farmers are restoring ecosystems through different ways. One way of it are agroforestry systems. For in the UK, in France, it is happening everywhere. So agroforestry systems is basically planting trees along the crops, bringing biodiversity into the field, creating their own microclimate, and also protecting the soil from erosion. So the future is not about choosing sides. It's not about conventional versus organic. It's not about innovation versus tradition. No. It's about combining the wisdom of the past with the innovation of the future. And the beauty of this moment is that change doesn't always come from policies or corporates. It can start right here with us. With you, with you, with you, and me. And if millions of us vote for regeneration, the system must follow. So I have brought 5 powerful things that you can all do starting today and move from paralysis to action. First, eat food, mostly plants, not too much. Michael Pollan put it very easy, and there is also a guideline since 2019 where we all can rely on, the Planetary Health Diet. It was launched by the Eat Lancet Commission by over 30 leading researchers. And what it basically says is that we should eat mostly plants, moderate animal products, and fewer processed foods. Moving to this diet could actually halve our full food-related emissions. And it could feed billions more people without cutting down one more tree, with the same cropland we already have. Second, eat 30 plants a week, or challenge yourself to eat 30 plants a week. Fruits, vegetables, legumes, seeds, nuts, herbs, everything counts. Diversity on our plates creates diversity in our fields, and diversity creates resilience. Right now, 83% of all harvested food calories come from just 10 crops. That is a very fragile system. And history has shown us what is happening when we rely too much on just too few crops. I remind you of Ireland in the 19th century, the Great Potato Famine. 1 million people died, and 2 million people had to leave the country. So let's make diversity a challenge. Go out there, try different fruits and vegetables, and also maybe new varieties. Take pumpkins, for example. We mainly know the Hokkaido or the butternut pumpkin, but there are hundreds of different varieties. Make it a challenge to try some new, diverse products. When you can also go to crowd farming platforms or also to farmers' markets and try it to find new products. Third, local doesn't always mean sustainable. So this might surprise you. It's unfortunately not that easy, but local doesn't always mean sustainable, because transport is only less than 10% of our food's footprint. And if you look at the slide, the red parts are the proportion of emissions that come from transport along the supply chain. It's hardly visible, right? What really matters is what we eat and how it was produced. A plant-based meal, for example, from another country can come or can be better than a local beef or local cheese. Also, a Spanish tomato grown under the Spanish sun and transported here could be more sustainable than one grown in the greenhouse next door. Next time you ask a question about your food, don't ask where does it come from, but ask how was it produced. And also go to crowdsourcing platforms or to the farmers' markets and try to ask the question there as well. Fourth, stay curious and try alternatives. Fish, meat, plant-based milks, whatsoever, try really everything out. And if you're already thinking, but they're full of additives, you are not wrong. Some are, but some are not. There are even some that are completely clean label. And you know what? The technology is progressing and evolving, and they're getting better by the day. So don't let one product put you off the whole segment, and really try something new. It can be also fun to go to the supermarkets and make it a challenge to find a new product. And fifth, cook and share what you've learned today. No perfectionism needed, no labels. And you don't need to be vegan or zero waste or flawless. A better food system and eating well is in everyone's interest, across any belief, across any background, and across the political or the whole political spectrum. Because we don't need 2% of perfect environmentalists. We need 100% of eaters like you, like 100% of you who care most of their time. Because progress is what shifts systems, and systems respond to demand, even imperfect demand. So these are the 5 actions. Eat food, mostly plants, not too much. Eat 30 plants a week. Local doesn't always mean sustainable. Stay curious and try alternatives. And cook and share, and please, no perfectionism. And these 5 actions can also multiply. For example, the 400 people of us here today, if they would swap just 2 meat meals to plant-based per week, this would multiply to 3,500 climate-friendlier meals per month. 3,500 small votes for a healthier planet. So let's go back to where we started. Every bite feeds a system of soil, of health, of hope. So I ask you today, which system will you choose to feed? Thank you.